As a lover of all things cars, it's quite sad for me to see so few sedans on the South African roads nowadays. I mean, growing up, every family had one, but now that I'm a grown-up, it seems like every other family has a SUV. And the sedans that are available have now all become premium and unaffordable to a point. But it's still very refreshing to see that there are still manufacturers out there that are making sedans that is affordable to the average South African.
This is the new Volkswagen Polo Sedan. It's bigger than the previous generation, a lot more modern, and probably one of the most bang-for-your-buck cars for families in the market today.
I know, when you look at it, you're probably thinking, why is this the perfect, good family car? Well, it's fairly simple. It's got 4 doors, it has a bigger boot than most SUVs out there, and come to think of it, it basically is as big as what a Jetta 4 was back in the day, and that was quite a big family car. And then there's the price, because you see, at its entry level, it's 8,400 Rand more than what you would pay for a Polo hatch. And at the top of the range version, then this car is just over 50,000 Rand more than an entry-level T-Cross, which is quite smaller than this car. Now, I know those are different type of cars, I get that. But if you don't just look at those cars, but also at some of the other manufacturers, this car fits in a perfect spot between its direct and indirect rivals because it offers more space, as well as it comes in under the R500,000 Rand mark. Now, there are 5 versions available with both manual and automatic options, starting with the entry-level sedan version, which is a very, very original name, by the way, guys. And then it moves up to the Life, and finally, the top-of-the-range Style version, which is the car we have on test here. Now, the entry-level manual and auto in the sedan, as well as the manual in the Life version, they share the same 1.6-litre MFI naturally aspirated engine, producing 81 kilowatts and 152 Newton meters of torque, with the Life Auto and this Style variant sharing a 1-litre turbocharged TSI engine, making 85 kilowatts and 178 Newton meters of torque, which is similar figures to the Polo TSI's R-Line version, which is funny enough, 14,000 Rand more than what this top-of-the-range Style version is. Makes you think, right? Its overall design is typical Volkswagen styling, with it retaining that design DNA that you see on all VWs nowadays. It's not overly designed, but it's kind of boring, but not so boring that it will offend you in any kind of way. You know what I mean? It won't disappear into the background. It still looks modern and stylish, and it especially looks good in this steel gray metallic paint color. Now, the Style version gets almost similar 17-inch alloy wheels that you will find on the Polo GTI, and it has standard things like LED DRLs, it's got a tilt and slide sunroof, it's got rain sensing wipers, wireless charging, it's got park distance control, it's got rear camera, and it even has cooling seats. And then there's a whole bunch of other little extras as well. But most importantly, you get a boot that offers 521 liters of space. To put that into comparison, a Toyota Corolla offers 470 liters, and a BMW 3 Series offers 480 liters of space. So clearly, as you can see, you can fit a whole me in here. And that's moose big. Can't get out of stuck. On the inside, it's more typical VW styling. It's a design layout that you will find quite familiar if you've driven any other VW products. So same kind of layout in the Polo, the T-Roc, and even the outgoing Tiguan, for example. It's both familiar and simple, and modern with very functional design on it. On the steering wheel, you get some physical buttons, which will make some people really, really happy. But unfortunately, sadly, for the button brigade out there, there's very little other buttons that actually exist. But they are, shortcuts on the side of the actual screen, which makes for easy operation and for you to kind of run through it all. I mean, it's very, very simple. It's very easy to use. The climate control, on the other hand, well, it makes use of a very controversial thing amongst motor journalists, these sliders that it has. I mean, you got to slide your finger across here to turn on the aircon and turn it off and the whole deal. But I don't see what the problem is. It's very easy. You slide, it moves. If you hold the minus or the plus, it gets hot or cold, it goes faster or slower.
The driver display has 3 customizable screens, which is controlled by the buttons on the steering wheel. There's wireless charging and wireless Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto, as well as 2 USB-C ports in the front, a 12-volt socket, a sliding center armrest, 2 unusually small cup holders, a decent glove box, storage in the doors for larger bottles, and more buttons in the driver's armrest for all 4 windows, mirror controls, and lock and unlock switches.
Overall, this is a setup you can instantly get used to without having to worry about, having to get a lesson from a 12-year-old how to operate all of these things. Getting in the back, there is plenty of legroom, and the seats are actually quite comfortable. Even with the front seats in its lower position, like I have it right now, I'm able to, put my feet under it and kind of just adjust and slide down if need be. Headroom is okay for me. It gives me about a hand gap, but for taller people, it's going to be a little bit tight. There are 3 seat belts in here, which means you can put like 3 people in here, but 3 adults, yes, you can, but it's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. There's also a fold-down center armrest, which again includes 2 unusually small cup holders, as well as USB-C ports, 2 of them, as well as 2 vent controls as well. You can also put in 2 car seats in here because there's 2 sets of ISOFIX points, and if you have those large bulky seats, you can easily fit them in. As you can see, the door opened up very, very wide. Talking about the doors, you're able to store large bottles in the doors as well, and in the seat pockets in front you can put a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Overall, it's very basic in here. No frills, just simple and practical seating, which is what I think every family kind of really wants. The only thing that I really don't like is this cream door paneling, the color of it. It's, if you've got kids, trust me, you're going to need to get yourself like a cloth or something to clean this on a regular basis, because they will kind of leave marks and stuff on here. But the type of material, the plastic that's on here, it makes for those that you, if you get to it quick enough, you'd be able to wipe it off easily. So yeah, you should be all right. But it's a very decent, comfortable space to be in. Driving the Polo Sedan Style Edition, or be it any other version of it, feels, again, very, very familiar. It's exactly what you're expecting, to find in, any other VW. What I do like, though, in this car is that it offers quite a bit more space from a driver's point of view. I mean, shoulder room is really, really good. I mean, you don't ever feel like you're going to be sitting on top of the person next to you. And then there's this tried and tested 3-cylinder 1-liter TSI engine. It's very smooth and weirdly, it's got that kind of weird 3-cylinder sound that I like. I don't know why I like it. I just do. It sounds cool. I mean, the engine is quite responsive. It's quite responsive enough to be able to get you off a line very quickly, when you get to the robot. And also needing to get to highway speeds, but you're not going to be breaking any 0 to 100 kilometer an hour, records. This car does it in 11.5 seconds. So yeah, it's okay. Its fuel economy is claimed at 6.3 liters per 100 kilometers, and even though I forgot to reset the clock, the trip computer, I've been keeping it at a steady 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So it's been very good. Nowadays, you can't you can't fault most cars on the way that they drive. They all drive really well, and this car drives really, really well. I mean, you fault cars on like silly things nowadays, like its intrusive safety features and stuff like that. But this car keeps it, simple. It's up to the driver's skills. And even if you're a newbie or a seasoned old driver like me, I think you'll be okay with it. You'll be able to just get in and go. This 6-speed automatic gearbox is smooth, and you never feel like you need an extra gear or you could be in the wrong gear. And because the manual uses the similar setup as what you find in the Polo hatch, I think that will be really good too. I've used this car on, daily driving, to the school, to the office, to the shops, and I even took it on a bit of a longer drive on the N7 to Malmesbury, and in all of those little driving situations, this car's passed it with flying colors. That's exactly what you expect from a Volkswagen. You're going to get that same drive and that same feel every single time when you get behind the wheel, which is a really good thing. Yeah, I don't think you'll go wrong by getting this as your everyday driver, your daily driver, your daily family driver. You'll be good enough space. The driving is good, the engine is good. Yeah, it's just good. But now you probably figured out that I have a soft spot for sedans. I've always preferred them over an SUV. Now, yes, those cars, the SUVs, offer quite a bit of practicality, but now that some of them are as small as most hatches, this sedan makes a lot more sense. In the Polo sedan, you now get a more modern style, good looking car with ample space for a family of 4 and good enough equipment levels to suit most of your modern tech needs. It doesn't have all the additional tech which we would really like to have, but in most cases don't require, but it keeps it simple enough to make it an enjoyable car, not just for now, but also it will still last you in a couple of years from now. Plus, at 461,700 Rand, which includes a 3-year 45,000 kilometer service plan and a 3-year 120,000 kilometer warranty, it offers just a better value for money proposition than some of its cousins, and some offering some other brands, which is good, I think, for the average South African like me and you, who's just looking for a decent sized family car. The only issue that you might have, though, is you might have some people mistaking you for operating an e-hailing service. Thank you for watching this edition of Tyrone Paulson Drives, and we have to say a big thank you going out to Barron's N1 City for allowing me to use their Polo sedan life in this video. For more info on this car and other VW products, feel free to reach out to them via their website or contact them directly. I'll leave the details in the description below. And lastly, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and I'd also like to hear your comments on what do you think about this car. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching once again. Catch you on the next one.